Hi everyone, my name's Electric Donkey, and today we're back doing the No Man's Sky type project thing we've got going. So, we've spent a good maybe like 4 episodes on the saving and loading. Basically I've looked at it, I've tried my very hardest to get it to work, and I've looked at it and thought, you know what, I'm not even going to bother trying to get another episode out on it. You know, it's not going to work. I tried my hardest and it's not worked. So, basically what I've done is I've just gone into the World Gen and the Create event. And there's very few bottom lines here. It was script save world and planet equals. Yeah, I just commented them out, and in fact all of the save world and read world I just commented out, because basically I'd rather get on and do something else. So what should we go and do? Well, my guess is probably the next thing that we want to do is world. Something to do with the world gen. So I'm thinking wood is our next step, or maybe stone. Let's start with wood and we'll go from there. So, also No Man's Sky's recently had an update. You know, the foundation update's been quite popular-ish, and it involves building bases, so we will be working a little bit on that once we've got the wood and the stone in, and some crafting maybe in there as well, just to, you know, make everything a bit nicer. So, let's go into our world gen. We want to spawn some trees in, basically. So in our variables bit, we're going to say trees equals, I'm going to say 5, you know, we're going to have 5 trees in our world. Alternatively, you could have this as a random number, you could have it as, you know, we could have, I think it's random int, integer, is it that? Random, what could it be? What was it? Hang on a minute. Random. Randint? No. Oh well. It's it was something to do with, you need to be an integer. But oh well. Anyway, back into the normal create event. So we've done 5 trees. So in here we want to use that somewhere to make our tree. So basically we want to put it kind of on the crust. So we need to make sure that within our, however long our world is, our width, we need to make sure that there is 5 trees evenly-ish spaced out between them. So how can we do this? How can we make sure that there's going to be that right amount of trees? Well, there's several different ways we could do it. We could make sure that it's always in the same place all the time, but that's not exactly the best way of doing it. Or we could do it so there's a random chance that we'd put a tree there. Only problem with the random chance that there's a tree there is it might go over the tree's variable. So how else could we do it? Let's think. What if we had... We'd need a separate event, so it'd have to be somewhere after this crust bit, to say we want to place it there and go up a little bit to make our tree a bit bigger. So we could say if trees does not equal 0, we could just pick random things. So let's try that. Let's do that one. So let's do 4 of our, whoops, still getting used to this keyboard guys, sorry. I equals 0. I is less than trees. I plus plus. So basically this will loop through the amount of trees that we have. Now we need to do something else. So we need to make sure that there is 5 trees within this world. So we're going to take our, we want to do I random, that's what it was, I random, and we want to use our, whoops, our width, and how can we do this? We could do it as an array, I guess. So let's do that. Trees I equals I random width. Yeah, that would in theory work. The only problem with that is it could choose the same one twice, but we could write some code for that, so maybe if we'll have some time afterwards we could do that. So now we have all of the slots stored in an array for us. What are we going to do with it now? So, in fact, could we put this in the crust? Could we? No, we couldn't. So we need a 4. Needs to be this little for loops, these couple of for loops here. So if you just copy them, paste them in, and we need some little things there, curly bracket things. I think they're called, I don't know what they're called, parentheses maybe. But anyway, this will loop through the whole of our world thing. So we need to then say if planet XX YY equals, that's not really equals, BK block dirt. So this is just looping through our whole of our planet and saying if that block equals a dirt block, because it should only be the crust at the moment that has it in, then we need to see whether now we need to do another check. So we need to say if XX equals trees in fact, let's do another for loop. It'll make it ever so slightly more efficient. So for var I equals 0, I is less than trees, I plus plus. Now we need to say if XX equals trees I. So this is saying basically if this is the slot we've randomly chose to put a tree there, then we need to place a tree. So we're going to say planet XXYY equals, and it's going to be BK block wood. Oh dear, I missed that. Block wood. Okay, so now that will set the planet to the wood, and it should now go along and add that in as we go. But there's a problem. This would change the block, the very block. We don't really want to do that. We want to have it one above. So we're going to do +1. Actually, do we want to do that? No, we want to do -1 because that would make it go up. And also we probably want to repeat this quite a few times. You know, we want to do it a fair few times because we want to make it go up a bit. So we're going to use another for loop, and this is going to be for II of our II is less than, so how many should we go up by? Let's go up 4. I plus plus. Have I missed something out there? Ah, we've put I there. For some reason it doesn't like it. Unexpected symbol. We've messed up there. So now that would loop it through that many times, and this now needs to be and in fact we need to do another -1. So that is going to be YY -1. Put that in brackets just to make sure. And then take away whichever slot we're on at the moment. Which basically will just make it go up by 4. So let's give it a go. Hopefully they're going to be evenly spaced-ish, but it's random, so in theory they might not be evenly spaced. We don't know, really. That's the problem. Maybe we'll go back and do a check so that they are evenly spaced. But is it crashed? Is it going to fail? Right, something's going wrong there. It doesn't like something at all there. So let's just read over, see if we've made any silly mistakes. Hang on a minute. Have we put we've put trees I and we've got trees here, so we'll change that to tree. The array can now be called tree, because otherwise it clashes with the other variable, and it's trying to read it from the variable, so it can't read an array from a variable, because there should be a variable that stores the array, and they're two separate things. So we've got an integer and a array, and they can't both be the same thing. So you can see there we have 4 trees. Let's go check again, see if that was just an anomaly. No, we appear to only ever have 4 trees. Oh no, that one has 5. Okay, so we have done that bit right at the very least. And you can see they go up 1, 2, 3, 4. So, you know, the trees are kind of working. We haven't really got any leaves at the moment, so we'll work on that in the next sort of video. Ignore that one. So let's just quickly go and make that check, because we've got a little bit of time. So inside the little bit where we've done it here, we will say, we'll change this so that can go down there. Actually, that needs to go below that. So we will hold a variable, so it could be var n equals irandom width there, and then we'll say if tree. Actually, we need another for loop here. This is getting a bit big. Let's just copy this one. So this needs to actually loop through all the way through the width, and we'll change that to XX. Okay, so now what we're going to say is we're going to check. So we're going to say if tree XX equals n, or does not equal, actually is what we want to say. Then we're going to, what we're going to do then, we're going to set it. So we're going to say tree I equals n. Okay, only problem with this is it will only work for a certain amount of time, so we'll then put a little else in here, and we'll just keep doing this like that. That should work more effectively now. It won't work 100% of the time, but in a way we don't want it to work 100% of the time, because if it works 100% of the time, then it starts to look like we've made it to work 100% of the time. And you know, we want to make it look as natural as possible, even though it looks really not natural, because it's all pixelated. But we'll try and make it as realistic as possible. So, trying to index a variable which is not an array. Great, okay, that's a bit weird. Never seen something like that. Let's go and see what's going on. So it'll be here, so XX equals, we've put I there, that's a start. Tree is the right thing, isn't it? Yep, tree is, that's the right one. I don't know what's going on there, guys, at all. Something it doesn't like there. I'd try and sort that out for the next video, but whatever's going wrong there, maybe it's just that little typo I had there, maybe it's because I put the I instead of the XX, I don't know really, might be, but let's see. No, it still doesn't like it, so trying to index a variable which is not an array, so I'm presuming it means tree, but I don't know really. tree is an array. I don't know what you're on about there. But anyway, guys, we'll end it there. You know, we saw the trees working the last one, so yeah, we'll get them working a lot better in the next video, and we'll also get some stone in there as well. So if you want to go check that out when it comes out next Tuesday, yeah, then please do. We'll be running up to Christmas soon as well, so I'll try and get some, I don't know, some Christmassy background or something. But anyway, guys, this will be it for this video. If you like the video, remember to like, subscribe, or just do whatever you guys want to do, and I'll talk to you in the next one.